On this episode of Beyond the Bounce, I sit down with Matt Morales and Byron Bogar to discuss the training camp roster for your Texas Legends, as well as some of the draft picks, returning players, and affiliate players from the Dallas Mavericks who will help to build out this Legends roster for the 2015-2016 NBA D-League season. Thanks for joining us on Beyond the Bounce Training Camp Edition. Sitting alongside me, Byron Bogar, Matt Morales. Guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us, Trav.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So, guys, the goal of today's episode is pretty simple. We want to familiarize our fan base with who's coming into camp, how they got here, and what our expectations are for each individual as well as for the team overall. So I'll dive right into it, and I'd like to start with our Dallas Maverick affiliate players. This year we were fortunate enough to get two guys coming from the Mavs, and they're two I think that we both believe in, or all three of us do, not just for their potential, but for also where they are right now in their game. So I'd like to start with the point guard. He has the ability to slide over and play a little two, but that would be Tu Holloway. So Matt, what are your thoughts on him?
Tu's a tough guard. You can tell he's from New York. He's like that typical New York point guard kind of guy. He's tough. He's not afraid to get in there. Yesterday he showed his point guard skills. He made a lot of plays for other people, and he's versatile. He can play the one and the two, kind of like Touré, our other point guard, and we have a lot of versatility on the team, and I think Tu's going to add to that.
Tu has been in Mavs camp before. This isn't his first rodeo here in Dallas, so glad to get him in a Legends uniform. Byron, any thoughts on Tu?
I love Tu. Love what he's bringing to the table. He's a guy that he's right there, that he can be an NBA talent, just needs to knock out a few wrinkles, that some would say. He's really given some leadership when he's on the floor, whether it's getting into play sets. What I really surprised me about Tu this week is being able to take pace control of the scrimmages when we're at scrimmages. He really takes control of the pace, and then that's a great thing that's exactly what you want out of your point guard when you're leading your guys out there to play.
Certainly a hard-nosed player, a guy who can command the floor, be a general of sorts, one that I think Coach Van Exel's looking forward to use throughout the course of the year, and potentially a call-up candidate. Would you guys agree?
Very, very much so.
And him and Nick have the whole Xavier-Cincinnati thing going, so that's fun.
Good internal battle, although definitely all positive there. The other player we want to talk about coming from the Mavericks is our other affiliate, and that would be the rookie out of Arizona, Brandon Ashley. Byron, your thoughts throughout the draft process? We worked together, with the Mavs. We were aware of his game. Not a draft pick for the Mavericks, but ultimately to get him in camp. What are your thoughts of him as a player at Arizona compared to where he is now after a full season?
I really like his development since he got out of college. I'm sorry about that. But when I saw him in summer league, he was really tough. He had really grit to him and showed that he can guard the 3 and the 4 as well as play the 3 and the 4. When he's knocking out his outside shot, he can really stretch the floor, and that's what we really want to get into this season.
Now, Matt, Brandon, he's almost got that body type of like a Kevin Durant. Yeah. Just long, lean, sinewy in regards to his muscle type. What is it about a player like him that makes the high ceiling moniker just kind of go off inside of everyone's head?
It's the ability to do multiple things. I think he's a guy that can shoot. He moves well. He's long, so defensively he can clog lanes. He can tip passes, stuff like that. He can handle the ball, he can move quick and blow by guys and stuff like that. So it's just a lot of versatility to work with. I think as a pro, it's going to be interesting to see with Brandon, because at Arizona, there were a lot of guys that kind of played that 3 position as well, and it was a loaded team, and he didn't have to take a big scoring load there. He was kind of a role player. I guess they all kind of had to play a role there, but I think it's going to be interesting to see him as a professional in a more open game and how he adjusts to that.
So Tu Holloway, point guard, can play the 2. Brandon Ashley, 3-man, a lot of length, a lot of size, but can also play the 4, maybe slide into the 5 if necessary?
Potentially, yeah.
All right. So obviously things getting set in motion with Big Brother down there, the Dallas Mavericks, sending us 2 high-level players, one of them a rookie, which is always a good thing here in the D-League. Like to see those younger players grow. And in addition to that, we have a few players who we welcome back, coming from last season or even the season prior, in the case of Michael Eric. Talented, long, shot blocking, rim running 5. Been with us before. Guys, your thoughts on Michael Eric and his ability to impact this roster?
Well, this is great to have Michael back. He was battling injuries the last couple of seasons, so he's looking like he's at full health. Like you said, he really runs the floor well, let alone his shot blocking ability. Great shot blocker, can really defend that paint, and we're really excited to have him back this season.
Yeah, I think the big thing with Mike is his health. I don't know if he's been fully healthy since even before his senior year of college. So seeing him right now, he looks great. one of the players made a comment today at practice, someone get the trampoline off the floor when he was going up and dunking. I mean, he's real athletic, and a rim protector is always a pretty good asset to have.
Definitely great to see him back at full strength. Certainly been a long road for him, and we welcome him back with open arms. A couple players who came into camp that are returning players that are going to have to fight their way onto this roster. Sharon Collins and George Beeman. Slightly a positional overlap, although I believe George shows a bit more versatility to play other positions. But Sharon Collins, high-level All-American guard, national champion at Kansas. Been a few years since he's seen the floor, but still only 28 years old. Your thoughts on the battle between Sharon, George, and kind of where they fit in?
It's exactly what you called it. It's a battle. They're battling for positions. Like you said, George does give us that little versatility where he can play a little bit 1 and 2. But Sharon has really showed that he still has a little bit of that Kansas Sharon in him, and that's why he's making this a really difficult choice between the coaches.
Yeah, I mean, I think, the one thing with Sharon is we hadn't seen him in a few years, and so having him come in, it's great to see. I mean, he's got that NBA skill set, there's no doubt. Just a matter of getting back and ready to play. With George, younger guy, a little more explosive, dynamic, quick. It's a battle. I mean, I think what we're going to get into later with our team and training camp is all of these positions. I mean, it's a real battle between every player there. There's nobody's sticking out. They're all in a group right there competing.
And just to recap on things, Michael Eric, our primary returning player from seasons past, where does he kind of stand in regards to the call-up ladder? Does he have a shot this year? Are teams interested? I know Milwaukee thought about bringing him into camp before some issues may have popped up regarding his visa process.
He's definitely right there, Trav. I think if he can prove that he can stay healthy, do what he's done in the years past, or why NBA teams do call him to summer league, like you mentioned, Milwaukee Bucks. He showed he can defend the paint. That's what we always love to see, defending the paint and rebounding out of bigs. And I think he can definitely have a shot at a call-up this season.
Yeah, I think it's a great situation for Mike to showcase himself. Like we said previously, the injuries really kind of hurt him. And overseas last year, he didn't get a lot of playing time in the situation he was in. And just being back in the States in the D-League, getting 25, 30 minutes a game, I think he's right there. I mean, centers are – people want young centers, young rim protectors, and I think Mike's right there. And, you see guys like Whiteside and Willie Reed, they're in the NBA now, so your top-level center in the D-League, he's right in the conversation.
And so I'll piggyback on that point, Matt. Top-level centers in the D-League. For us last year, Jared Famous finished the year with, I want to say, 12 straight double-doubles. The guy was an animal for us on the glass, hard-working player, but he's no longer a member of the Legends. Part of that, obviously, being that Michael Eric was a returner as well. We have a young player that the Mavs drafted 52nd overall in this year's NBA draft in Satnam Singh. Double S, S squared. And that left very few minutes available to either Jared or Michael. The franchise chose to take the direction and take a step forward with Michael, and in the process, dealt the rights of Jared Famous to the Bakersfield Jam, in addition to the first overall pick in the second round this year, number 20 overall, for the rights to Dallas Mavericks training camp invitee, Jamil Wilson. Jamil, obviously excited to report to camp here. Unfortunately not able to participate until the 12th once we're active, but he'll be in uniform in game 1. Obviously your well wishes for Jared, I'm sure would be very similar. But what does a player like Jamil Wilson bring to the table in regards to this Legends roster and kind of filling in the gaps?
Well, like you said, we hate that we had to get rid of a player like Jared Famous, but we received a player with the talents of Jamil. So we really needed some wing help, outside help with the wings. And we had, like you said, we had Michael Eric coming back. So that's going to kind of take some of the minutes that Jared saw last season when he recorded that streak of double-doubles. So it was really an importance that we needed at a wing position. So we got a very good player in Jamil Wilson back for Jared Famous.
Yeah, and to piggyback off of that with Jared, the D-League's also about putting players in a good situation to showcase themselves, get call-ups and stuff like that. We had 3 centers that were going to command high minutes, and let's be honest, if all 3 of them are on the roster, it's not the best situation for all of them. And if you're in a trade for a guy like Jamil Wilson, it's clear the other team wants you. They like you. So it's, it wasn't a getting rid of him. It was just, hey, he's wanted, and it's a good situation for him. I think I'm going to say this word a lot during the interview, but versatility with Jamil. He can play multiple positions. He defends multiple positions. He's athletic, and I think you'll see, generally players in their second year as a professional make their biggest jump. And Jamil is a guy in college. His offensive game, it was there, but he really developed it last year, and I think you're going to see a big jump this year to where he really transitions into that 3 position.
How would you survive without TV or cable in remote lands?
What's up, Facebook? You got the Smiths here. We're hanging out tonight, doing a little camping action. We got Sarah over here, of course. We got some popcorn. We got this awesome new ZTS Pro 2. Sarah got me for my birthday. It's got this sweet little USB drive in the back. We got a dinosaur film picked out for this evening.
My conversations with Jamil from Mavs training camp all the way until this morning's practice have always been that of a level of confidence and his abilities to not just do what he does well now, but to get better. The guy puts in a lot of work. We've seen a development of his outside shot over the course of several months now. And Matt, I know you said it, but versatility I think is something that can be indicative of a team's success, being able to have guys who can kind of fill in multiple slots, because the roster is only 10 men deep. And at the D-League level, all 10 have to be able to contribute at any given time. Jamil able to do that at 2 positions, and defensively, certainly looking to see him kind of bring out some of that inner Marquette dog that they're known for, and have him get after it on the defensive side of things.
Yeah, I mean, one thing you see about all the Marquette guys is hard workers. They're all hard workers, and they all get better.
On both sides of the floor.
Now, this wasn't the only preseason or pre-draft trade that was made. Our number 1 overall pick, 6th overall in the draft, first-round pick, was shipped to the RGV Vipers. Matt, fill us in on the take there.
Yeah, so we traded the number 6 overall pick to RGV, and we got Ture Murray in return. He's a guy. I guess he's been a professional for 3 seasons. This will be his 4th, I believe, and he's been up and down between the NBA and the D-League. He's definitely right on that edge, and he's a smart guy. He's going to handle the ball for us and create, and you can tell he's a leader. He's going to do just what Nick asks, and he's going to run this team for us.
Byron, Ture is a big point guard, 6'5", athletic, out of Wichita State, seems to understand the game pretty well. Obviously had some good coaching along the way. Between him and Holloway at the 2 guard spots, what kind of problems can that cause for our opposition?
I think they can cause some severe problems, Travis, because Ture, I'm finally happy that he's over here, because he's had some tough games against us in years past. But like we've been saying at this whole episode, that versatility. It's really important to have versatility. You can play 2 at the shooting guard. You can play Ture. Ture I believe, can guard up to the 3 position on defense. Being a very smart player never hurts at the point guard position, as well as being a large player. He's a 6'6", like you said, 6'5", 6'6" guard, and we haven't seen that in a while here in Legends Land. I think since Antonio Daniels, correct me if I'm wrong.
Went way back
having
on
a big point guard that can exert his will onto other defenders. So I'm really excited to have Ture back and get some double-doubles and triple-doubles at that point guard position.
All right, yeah, I'm looking forward to that too. Let's see that. So guys, again, just to kind of round out the roster, we've gone through our returning players, we've gone through a few of the trades we've made, our affiliate guys, Holloway, Ashley. But there's a process a lot of fans aren't familiar with, and that's the local tryout process. Guys who don't quite have the accolades or the awards at the collegiate level, or haven't had a chance to play at the NBA or extremely high levels in Europe, often qualify for one of these spots. This year we had 3 players, Bo Barnes, Alan Durham, and Marcus Terrence. Your thoughts right now on Bo Barnes, his chance of making this team, and perhaps being this year's specialist as Booker Woodfox has been in the past. Matt?
Yeah, I mean, I think you kind of nailed it right there. He's a specialist, but he's a guy, he defends really well. I know when we were watching him before the season, we noted the games they played against Oregon and Joe Young, who's right now getting minutes in an NBA, and he shut him down when they played Oregon. And like you said in the tryout process, the players may not have the accolades, play at the highest level overseas, but he's a Division I player in a Pac-12 school. He was a contributor last year, and I think all 3 of our tryout players are high-level players. I think a lot of people hear the word tryout and they're like, oh, it's just kind of a local guy. No, these are professional basketball players, and I think Bo's got a great shot to fill in on this roster.
And local tryout players of the past, Byron, we've seen them have great amounts of success, even reaching the heights of the NBA.
Yes.
Chris Roberts, Mavs training camp, Mavs summer league. Dominique Johnson, Minnesota Timberwolves summer camp, training camp as well. Booker Woodfox, Mavs Summer League. Is Bo Barnes one of those players who, maybe not now, but with that type of special skill set and ability to put the ball in the net, could he be one of those fringe guys, and is he working towards building himself a better career?
I definitely believe so, Trav. Having that skill set as a shooter, it never hurts. There's always going to be room for a great defender and a great shooter on a basketball team. Like Max said, he's been playing lights out defense in camp this week. So that's another thing you add on to the shooting aspect of things, his defense, and he's a very smart player. When we're getting into plays, he's really picking up the plays, and he's knowing the other positions. He's not just learning his position, he's knowing where his teammates should be at the same time. So that'll never hurt, being a smart player, a great defender, and a great shooter. So I can see him having a chance to really make this squad and having an impact this season.
Certainly, if he makes the squad, he's going to be relied upon in practice and in workouts to push our first overall pick in this year's draft, 25th overall total. Young man out of the Philippines who was with Mavs in training camp, Mr. Bobby Ray Parks. Byron, what is Ray, as they like to call him, or Ray Bans? What does he bring to the table for this roster?
Oh, Ray Bans, he's a real good shooter. Piggyback on that same word we've been using all day, very versatile. He can give you some minutes at the point, and he can give you some minutes at shooting guard. He's been playing great defense. And he's a great character guy. And that's what I really like about this whole team as a whole from what we've seen this first week. We have some really good character building. No knuckleheads, as you may want to say. So I think they're really meshing well, and that's really good to see in the first few days of training camp. And guys like that, Bo Barnes, Teray Murray, those good character guys, that it's infectious.
And Matt, in addition to Bobby Ray, in the second round we had three picks after him, and that was Patrick Miller, guard who played at a high level in Turkey last year, successful collegiate career there at Tennessee State. What does Patrick Miller bring to the table, both at the point guard spot and just from a pure kind of guy on the roster who's able to help the team?
Well, I think Patrick's a guy that really would be competing for starting jobs on most teams in this league. Obviously, we have the benefit of Tua and Teray. Not to say he doesn't have a chance at that, but it's certainly a crowded backcourt. But it gives us a lot of depth. Patrick's a real strong guard. He's athletic. He's smart. He knows how to run a team. He was the man at Tennessee State when he was there. He knows how to be the guy when it's on your shoulders and score. Went overseas last year to a high-level league, and he played well. And to me, when you see a rookie play well in his first year in a high-level league like that, you've got a player because he made that adjustment. And so they can adjust to the D-League and the big bodies here, because I know Turkey is quite the physical league over there.
Quite a physical league, and when that guy walked in the gym, I remember somebody saying, when he does a push-up, he doesn't do a push-up, he does a bench press of the world. And looking at that guy, he almost belongs there on like a middle linebacking core at 6'3", probably a solid 210, 215, and just chiseled out of granite. But there was one other player I wanted to mention who we became very familiar with through the local tryout process, but ultimately he was too successful for us to claim him, and that's Justin Reynolds. Justin seems to be a bit of a dynamic, kind of 6'8", 6'9", versatile, it keeps coming up, player that looks like he may make this roster. Guys, your thoughts?
I think he does have a very high chance of making this roster. Versatile aspect never hurts. He can play 3, 4, and it'll give you a little bit of 5 probably in the D-League. He's playing lights out, great character guy, high motor. That's what I'd really explain Justin in these 4 days of practice. And we look forward to him possibly making the team.
Yeah, he's strong, he's athletic, he can shoot it, he rebounds a little bit. He's just got a wide variety of skills, and with his size and athleticism can fill in the multiple positions, just kind of like what this whole roster has, which is great, because in the D-League, we're getting call-ups, we've got to plug in positions. So when you have guys on your team, on your starting lineup, or on your bench that can fill in the multiple spots, that's so valuable with such a thin roster.
And guys, that kind of covers a lot of our bases in regards to the players that are out there that are of note right now. But there's some players, that's not 10 guys right there. That's not 12. There's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of inner working parts. Some of your training camp surprises, as well as your overall thoughts on the direction of this roster and how they'll come together and play in regards to style and success. Byron?
Well, we've already touched on this player, and my surprise is Patrick Miller. He's come in, he's a very smart player. He started directing guys where to be at the point guard position early on when we started getting into plays. I think he's probably one of our best on-ball defenders right now, or at least he's showing it right now in this week of practice, and he's been a real good, pleasant surprise, I'd say.
Matt, your surprise of camp?
I've got 2. I'm going to say Satnam, and I'm going to say Sharon Collins. You know, with Sharon, he was just kind of an unknown coming in, and I'm really surprised with the skill set still being there. You never know what you're going to get from a guy who's taken a couple years off of the pro game, but he can shoot it. He knows how to run a team, and he's actually been a great leader on the floor for everyone as well. You know, he's the oldest guy on our team, which says something because he's not even 30 yet, and you know, usually we have some older vets on this team, but I've been pretty surprised with him. And then with Satnam, just, you know, the talent's there. I mean, he's got the ability to shoot. They were doing post work today on turnaround moves, and 5, 6, 7 shots in a row he hit, and shooting better than all our other bigs. So, you know, he's got some touch. So I'm pretty surprised to see how he develops throughout the year.
Well, guys, thank you so much for your time. I'm looking forward to a great season. This is a roster that is the youngest in our team's history. Certainly a point to emphasize as guys are hungry and looking to get the call up. We're here for their development, something that's been paramount to Coach Van Exel and his staff. And hopefully we'll see a lot of the hard work manifest itself over here in the early part of the season, and some of these guys moving on to greener pastures at the NBA level.
Yep.
Matt, Byron, thank you for joining me on the draft and training camp edition of this episode of Beyond the Bounce. We'll return for many more in the future, each and every week here on BTB.